Hello, English 100 class. This is a short video for week 3 about the theme of gender in Educated, the theme of being a girl. Essay 1 is coming up soon, and Essay 1 is about this theme, gender. So you need to have a lot of stuff in your notes before we get to the essay. In this video, I want to point out a few spots in the book that are about the gender theme, but you might not notice it at first. Okay, let's start on page 61. Everyone open your book to page 61. You might pause your video and find page 61 so you can follow along, and then you can mark the spots in your book as we go along. This is in chapter 6, page 61. All right, so on this page, you can see the spots that I underlined in my book. At the top, one day I had a bizarre thought that I should enroll in public school. And then a little later, she says, I made some effort to keep up with my schooling in the free time I had. And somewhere in the middle of that page, it says, when Dad saw me with one of these books, he'd try to get me away from them. So for some reason, Dad doesn't want Tara to read. I think this is about the gender theme because Dad thinks he's the head of the household and he has the right to control her. He's very controlling. Maybe you don't think this is about the gender theme. I think that's okay because we can all have our own interpretations. But to me, he looks really controlling. He thinks because he's Dad, he gets to rule over everybody. So I think it's about the gender theme. Next example is on page 66. I'm flipping in my book. So you can see that my book has all these Post-its in it. You might get Post-its if you don't have them already. So page 66, we have another example that I think is about the theme of gender, but you might not notice it. So page 66, the end of chapter 6, you can see my underlinings. I want to go to school. So this is Tara, and Tara's talking to Dad. And Dad responds by saying, we obey the commandments of the Lord. So what does this have to do with the gender theme? Well, notice that Tara's not asking Mom. It's really understood by Tara that Dad is in charge. So that's why it's about the gender theme. Tara's family is male-dominated, and so if she wants to go to school, she has to get permission from Dad, and Mom doesn't necessarily count. Next example I have for you, I have two more, is on page 81. So turn to page 81 now, and I'm going to turn to it in my book. This is in chapter 8. And this chapter is called Tiny Harlots. So page 81, pause if you need to go find the page. In this chapter, Tara is a little girl still, and she wants to take a dance class. And in order to be in this dance class, she wants to get a little dance outfit, a leotard or something like that. And at the bottom of page 80, the dance teacher's name is Caroline, and Dad has an opinion. At the bottom of page 80, it says that Dad said Caroline's class was one of Satan's deceptions. And then the top of page 81. And this is all according to Dad. It claimed to teach dance, but instead it taught immodesty, promiscuity. Satan was shrewd, Dad said. By calling it dance, he had convinced good Mormons to accept the sight of their daughters jumping around like whores in the Lord's house. That fact offended Dad more than anything else, that such a lewd display had taken place in a church. So here the gender theme should really jump out at you, because this whole theme of that Tara must be modest, that she can't jump around like a whore, this is really about his view of girls. Of course, we don't have a boy in her family taking a dance class to compare. But this is really something about how Dad thinks about girls and what it means to be a girl. So I would definitely add this to your notes if you don't have it already. Okay, one more example. And for this example, we're going to jump ahead to page 107. So go find page 107, and I'm going to find it in my book too. This chapter is called Fish Eyes. And here we get Tara's older brother, Sean. And Sean's going to be an important character for our theme. So in this chapter, page 107, so you might pause your video to go find it. So Tara, I think, is a little older now, and she wants to try out for a play. And there's a girl there named Sadie. And Sean is driving her to the play or something like that. And Sean says about Sadie, she's got fish eyes. Fish eyes? And this is Sean. Yep, fish eyes. They're dead stupid fish. They're beautiful, but their heads are as empty as a tire. So this is Sean and the way he talks about girls. And so the gender theme comes up here too. And you can't really see my notes, but I wrote right here the word misogyny. So you can decide whether you think that Sean is exhibiting misogyny here. Okay, so again, the gender theme comes up all over the place in this book. So for these examples, I hope you'll add them to your notes. And definitely think about Sean and Dad and the kind of attitudes they have about girls. And in our discussion and activities and writing practice for this week, we'll be focusing on this gender theme. Thanks.